Hey, I'm Jason from Fuzzlord, and today in this video I'm heading up to Portland to go meet up with Simon from Cult Effects. Cult Effects is a music gear retailer that specializes in doing limited special color edition runs of different pedals. They also sell guitars and amplifiers. So I'm going to be sitting down and talk to Simon about his background in music, his band Nightmare, and then also his record label Total Dissonance Worship. We're also going to check out a bunch of his music gear, different pedals that he offers through Cult Effects. We're also going to see a couple Fuzzlord pedals that are going to be available through Cult Effects soon, including a limited edition colorway of the Model T150 and an HM6 Distortion. Don't go anywhere, we're starting right now.
Hey, my name is Simon. I run Cult Effects, which is a shop that specializes on exclusive run pedals out of Portland, Oregon. And I also run a label called Total Dissonance Worship, which specializes in dissonant extreme metal for the most part, and I play in a band called Nightmare. One of the biggest companies I've been working with recently is Earthquaker Devices. We have made a run of the Plumes and the Ledges Reverb, which you could see in the background here, and I'm about to get a batch of live pedals actually, which is a great honor because the band had to greenlight it, so pretty stoked about that. Okay, cool. Yeah, and we're doing the live pedal, the Hazumitas and the Blooms, because I've kind of neglected our bass players out there, so we, wanted to offer a bass pedal. Beyond that, I work with a lot of smaller boutique builders like Lichtlam Audio from Germany, and I have worked with Wonder Pedals, with Fuzzlord now. High wind amplification, everybody I work with usually is gracious enough to let me do an exclusive finish or exclusive artwork, sometimes even on the pedals. I still currently run a record label called Total Dissonance Worship, which is where the name Total Distortion Worship is derived from for our proprietary shop pedal. I'm working with a lot of underground bands that are very specific to that niche, but bands that are maybe a little bit more known would be Imperial Triumphant. I did a tape release with them. I've worked with Great Falls from Tacoma. They're good friends of ours, and did a tape release with them and some digital stuff. I am also releasing my own band on the label, which is the whole reason I started the label. I've been in several bands that were signed to some smaller and bigger metal labels, and I never got a royalty check from any label. So I got kind of annoyed with that after a while and started this label to release my own music, basically. And then just the idea was to kind of have a pool around the band that fits well with what we do, and so it's like kind of mutually beneficial to everyone. So it's a very consistent label, musically speaking. If you're into that kind of stuff, dissonant black metal or death metal, there's a high chance you like almost anything we put out. I started the record label in early 2020, literally with the pandemic. Because, I was sitting there not knowing what to do, really, and I was like, for some reason I felt like I can do this now, It's something I had thought about for a while and never felt capable, and for some reason, all of a sudden I was like, this seems like the right time, It was kind of the Wild West for a little bit, and it was a time to try something, and so, yeah, it was maybe March 2020 or something.
That's about the similar time frame that you started Cult Effects also, yeah?
No, I started Cult Effects in early 2024, so quite a bit later. I would say the label, having worked with the label and especially with vinyl as a medium, as a vinyl collector, I've always been kind of attracted to the nature of like limited pressings and something, when the vinyl pressing looks really good with the artwork or whatever. So I've always been a very visual person, and so that's kind of where I think the idea for Cult Effects kind of came from. I was, like a gear nerd on one hand and a vinyl collector on the other, and it's just kind of like how things fit together for me.
It's been really exciting to watch the limited special runs and color editions of the pedals through Cult Effects with everyone that you're working with. Yeah. Because up until I saw what you were doing with it, that doesn't seem like it was very common in the guitar pedal industry.
Right. I mean, I've definitely seen dealer exclusives here or there, but there's definitely not there's no other shop that specializes on that, right? Usually to to be able to do an exclusive finish, you would have to carry all of the normal stock that brands have, and so I kind of have to, sometimes I have to explain to people what it is exactly that I'm doing, because they will just be like, can you stock our normal stuff? And I'm like, well, it's not really what I'm doing, right? And so usually people like the idea and then are willing to work with me.
I've been having fun watching you, kind of waiting to see what comes out next, what new color editions might be available.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I always try new stuff, and I just buy it. I don't even hit up the brands. Oftentimes I'll just buy it and try it, and if I like it, I'll shoot them an email or even a message on Instagram. Nice. And just see what happens.
So what's the guitar you got with you today?
So this is a Codex independent line guitar. Well, these are assembled in Germany, and this is Codex Guitars is a custom shop based out of Germany, and they make hand-built guitars, but they wanted to offer a more affordable production line. And so what they do is they have the neck and body blanks made in a factory in, I want to say, Indonesia. Nothing is pre-drilled. They just get those blanks sent to them, and so all the drilling, all the precision work is done at the custom shop in Germany, but they're able to keep the prices pretty reasonable with those. So this is like a $1,500 guitar basically, whereas a custom shop guitar would be quite a bit more. So my go-to pedal platform amp is this Rev D20. I like it for a couple reasons. First of all, it just eats distortion pedals for breakfast, which is great. Almost like any distortion pedal I send through, it just sounds amazing. And it has an internal load box and speaker simulation, so I could just hook it up straight to my interface and record. So yeah, I can't be super loud in here, which is a shame with all of these big cabinets. But yeah. But if I need to record something, I can do that at room level volume, and it still sounds just as good, which is pretty convenient for sure.
I think a lot of us guitar players are used to that now, where we have our amps that we take out to be loud.
Yeah.
And then usually our one go-to amp that works with our pedals that records well and isn't incredibly loud.
Exactly, and that's exactly what this Rev amp is. It wouldn't be a good live amp. It doesn't get very loud. I'm mostly using this Omega 2x12. It has a V30 and a creamback in it. Don't ask me which creamback. Whichever pairs well with the V30 is the one that they would have chosen for me.
Yeah.
And then we have at the bottom a Lichtlam Audio 2x12, which is loaded with his proprietary speakers, the Lucifer 150, which is made by Fane. This is something I was able to take home from NAMM. He had shipped it over for NAMM, and it got damaged in transit a little bit, so I was just like, hey, let me keep it, and I'm glad to have it, because It sounds really good.
So you run both of those today?
At the moment, I'm just running the Omega.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not hooked up right now, but this is like a little ampless rig I have down there, which is a prototype for the Lichtlam Ragnarok, which is a distortion tube distortion pedal, a mother preamp pedal by Science Amplification, and then a noise gate and a pedal power amp called Lichtlam Pandora. And it just sounds really good with the Lichtlam 2x12. Codex Guitars set this up in drop B for me. And we used the Diodario EJ22 jazz set, I think, which is 56-213.
With the wound third.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's like, I used to play in drop C a lot, and then later in drop A sharp, and like, I feel I've always used that string set for a lot of these tunings, and so I figured, since this is a Gibson scale guitar, I figured it would be right at home in a drop B, so that's what we went with.
I'm excited over that because you're the first person I've talked to in a long time that uses the EJ22. I usually use the EJ21.
Okay.
Because it's 11 or 12 to 52, I think.
Right.
But that wound third, I think, really works well for low tunings.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I used to use that one I think that's what I used for drop C back in the day, the EJ21, yeah. But yeah, this one does really well. It's actually, I wasn't sure if this would feel right or if it would be too loose, given the Gibson scale, but it's actually very, it's got very tight tension, actually. Nice. That's really, really cool.
And then you run through the total distortion worship today?
Yes, so the main tone, the distortion tone you're hearing is the Total Distortion Worship, which is our proprietary shop pedal, so to speak. It was developed together with Lichtblam Audio, and it is a distortion pedal with a switchable boost. It has a 5-band EQ in it and a noise gate. And the idea here was to kind of make an all-in-one distortion pedal that kind of has all the features to be self-sufficient in front of an amp. So this is my current main riding guitar for my band Nightmare. It is tuned in drop G. I have a string joy set on this, 68 to 14. The reason I'm using string joy is that you could put together your custom sets, and after trying a lot of different sets, I had to kind of mix and match a lot of stuff to kind of arrive to something that felt comfortable. So drop G is a pretty low tuning, but this is a baritone conversion neck. It's 27.78 inches,
Okay.
which is pretty random. It's a very long instrument, actually. It's like kind of almost like a bass, so it took some getting used to. And little trick here for people, I'm using something called cat's tongue, which is an adhesive tape that makes guitars not slip off your lap when you play them. I don't know if I'm the only one who has that problem, but it helps a lot. So this guitar is loaded with the EMG J Master set, which is an active Jazz Master voiced set. Instead of the usual rhythm circuit that Jazz Masters have, this has a boost circuit, which I assumed would be great for metal, but I'm not so sure about it. What is really cool about it is, these two dials on the normal Jazz Master are volume and tone knob. On this it's a mid boost and a treble and low end boost. So like in the middle position of the pickups, you can get some really interesting, dirty, clean tones out of this that just sound very unique, kind of raunchy. But yeah, so this is the first time I'm kind of using more vintage output pickups to actively write, down-tuned metal, and for someone who's used to be playing like high output pickups, it's kind of taken some getting used to.
Yeah.
But it sounds more like what I want to hear. Just because it doesn't feel the way I'm used to, doesn't mean it doesn't work. So it's been kind of like a cool process, because it kind of helps the creative process be a little bit different too. You're kind of not so stuck in your rut, So.
Nice.
Yeah, really enjoying this whole guitar. The neck is from EGC. I don't think I mentioned that. It's one of their baritone conversion necks. The body is a Squier body, J Mascis, which was actually a great guitar in stock. I was very surprised about how much I liked it. But I always knew I wanted to put it together this way. So and I don't regret it. So we're running the HM6 into the Total Distortion Worship. I deactivated the boost in the Total Distortion Worship because while, I like a lot of distortion, it might be a little too much. right, so what we have here is kind of a random assortment of a lot of the exclusive pedals I have made through Cult Effects. Let's start down here. This is a black one from Dirty Sock Effects, which is kind of like a take on a live pedal, but with a couple of tweaks. We only sold 10 of these. Literally it is the smallest run of pedals we've ever did with a brand. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of try it and throw it out there, and I had to keep one for myself because it was really, really good. Then we have an Earthquaker Devices Plumes. Everybody knows the Plumes probably. It's a cool overdrive kind of pedal with 3 different clipping modes. I really like using the Blues Driver mode, which is over here. And it's cheap, you know, $119, and this is our exclusive finish. So here's our proprietary product, the Total Distortion Workshop. This is MK2. Here we have MK1. The difference between the two is that the first one had a clean boost circuit, and this one has a tube screamer circuit. The reason is that some people still wanted more gain out of the pedal, and you know, I think particularly if you play in a perfectly clean pedal platform amp, I understand wanting more gain, so this is why we did version 2. Here we have the Lichtlam Medusa, and we made Lichtlam made 6 of these for us in this finish. It was just an experiment. They wanted to see how a printed version of the pedal would look, and I was happy to take it on. SNK VHD is a preamp / distortion pedal based on the, what is it, not Crate, based on the Ampeg, the Ampeg VH140C. That's what this is, yeah. So this is really good for 90s death metal tones. We did a small run with SNK of these early on in the beginning of the shop, and we are getting 20 more in the next couple weeks because people have kept asking us for these, and they're really cool. Let's go here. This is an Earthquaker Ledges, which is a super cool reverb. It is a room, hall, and plate reverb with like a mini switch here, and you can save up to 6 presets, which is really cool. I use this for recording a lot, and I just chronologically save my reverb tones. You know, so that's very, very handy, and it's super easy to dial in and sounds great. What we have here is the Wonder Effects HW2. It is a signature pedal for Bo from Harm's Way. So it's a distortion pedal that has a boost on board with an HM2 EQ curve. So you can go kind of HM2 with it, but if you don't activate the boost or turn the saw knob down, it's just a cool distortion.
I like the finish too.
Yes, the finish is really cool. It's like part of the map of Chicago, and they were like, hey, you want to print the Cult Effects logo in real big on it? And I was like, hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah, I do. Here we have 2 versions of the Highwind Direwolf, another tube screamer type pedal, and we made a printed version and an acid etched version, which sold out super fast. We have another couple of the acid etched ones coming, and at the end over here we have the Lichtlam King in Yellow, another one in our exclusive black, silver, and red colorway. This too is a tube screamer type pedal. I would say one of the best out there because you have an EQ on it. So there's a lot of tone shaping options with that one, and it has its own kind of effects loop situation going on, which is really cool. Alright, so here are a couple pedals that I just kind of mess with, and obviously our new Fuzzlord Model T 150 that is gonna be on sale by the time you're watching this video. So this is a Model T preamp style pedal in a cool red and black splatter enclosure. Super sick. Looks great with the artwork too. Very stoked on this. And we will shoot demos for it for sure. I just got this today from Collision Devices, TARS. Yeah, honestly, this was an impulse purchase. I saw it and I was like, I need to try this. I have no idea exactly how it sounds. We will figure it out. This pedal I bought because it is based on the band Botch. They had a song called Man the Ramparts, and this pedal builder just changed it to Ram the Man Parts. It's kind of like, it's like an overdrive type pedal. I found this on Reverb, and it doesn't work 100%. Only if you dial this one up like all the way, it starts really working, but then it sounds really cool. So, you know, all right, works. These two are from Electronic Audio Experiments and Obstructures, collaboration pedals. This is a fuzz, and this is an overdrive pedal. The fuzz is one of my favorite pedals because it sounds massive as a fuzz, but when you dial back the texture and weight, as I have here, it kind of just sounds like a really nasty distortion pedal, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, pretty. You know, you can get great distortion and great fuzz tones out of it, which is cool. Up here we have the Wallow from Jupiter Effects. It's a Rad and Big Muff pedal, and you can kind of you could go either Rad into Big Muff into Rad, or both 50-50 blended. We are going to be doing an exclusive run of this in exclusive art. This was an exclusive that was made for like a small tape label based out of Germany, and I just liked how it looked, so I got it. Nice. And over here we have my current favorite Vibe machine. It's called Decay Cascade, and it's made by Normal Devices. It's a distortion into reverb. It has 3 different reverb modes up here, and then 3 different distortion modes. The reverb mode I'm using the most has kind of like this chorus effect on it, and whenever I use this pedal, I find myself playing guitar for like an hour and just kind of getting lost in it. And I think that's a good sign. I think that's a sign of a good pedal for sure. All right, my secret gear kink are weird cabs. I have more cabs than I have amps. So yeah, the bigger and more obnoxious the cab is, the more I will probably like it. This is a staggered 4x12 made by Roller Cabs, who used to make cabs based here out of Portland. I don't think they make anything anymore. I literally just walked into Guitar Center one day and there it was, and I had to take it home. A very curious pair of speakers down there, a Schultz sugar cone. I had to I took the speakers out to see what it was, and apparently there's some lore around these speakers and they're pretty sought after. But I might swap them out. I might swap all of the speakers in there because it does sound a bit scooped, and I like mid-range a lot, so yeah, we'll see. I might try something else. But very unique, very cool, very heavy. So this is a staggered Sun 4x12. It has pretty similar qualities to the Roller Cab. It sounds a bit scooped. However, kind of with the right amp, you kind of get this 90s crowbar tone out of it, which is really cool. Slightly scooped in the mids, a lot of like low end and like high end. It's cool. Very cool come up. It's, you know, over 40 years old and in great shape, so I'm happy to have it.
I was excited to see that one in the collection today.
Well, this one is my big dog. It's a 5x12 and 115, the 15-inch speakers down here, made by Omega. I bought this off of someone in Boise, Idaho. We have since become really good friends because he is a cab nerd too, and yeah, we send each other messages about cabs like the weirdos we are. So shout out to him. Yeah, it's obviously sounds massive. I don't know how else to say it. It's pretty modern voiced. But yeah, the 15-inch speaker just adds kind of like a low-end heft that you wouldn't get out of a normal cab. This is a loaner from my friend Peter, who plays guitar for Unearth. He also was in a band here in Portland called Flood Peak that was really cool, so check that out on streaming services or whatever. I honestly haven't used it very much because, it's loud as hell, and I can only be so loud in here. So,
for sure.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, MPEG V4 classic pedal platform amp. I don't think I have to explain this one too much. Over here we have a Friedman 2x12 and 215. So the 215-inch speakers are at the bottom. They're not, an X pattern. It's kind of funny because you don't realize how big this cab is until you put it right next to a normal 4x12, and it looks dwarfed all of a sudden. So yeah, it is huge. Very cool cab. It sounds quite British. I was very surprised about the sound of it. A friend of mine sold it to me, and I love it. And then here's a Rendell RG100ES. I already name dropped crowbar. I'm a big fan. Kirk Winstein boosts the RG100ES with a metal zone, and you know, I try to replicate that tone, and I kind of can't for some reason, but still a very cool combination. This amp sounds really cool with the metal zone, and here, you know, I have a Kemper that I used to tour with a lot with a Matrix power amp.
All right.
Basic convenience material, but you know, sounds good, great every night. So you know, no hate. It's old and it did a good job.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then this is where Cult Effects and
Total Dissonance Worship kind of
all come together.
Yeah. Started Total Dissonance Worship in 2020, and it is, you know, a label for dissonant extreme metal stuff, so death metal and black metal, and I also released my own band through the label. Some of my personal highlights, I would say, is this Ion Dissonance record. It's called Solace. This is a Canadian band. Imagine Gorguts, but more grindcore and more chaotic. That's kind of their vibe. This album came out in 2005, and I was lucky enough to reissue it on vinyl a couple of years back. So that was kind of like the one record I always wanted to be involved with to some degree, and it's very, you know, very influential record on me. So yeah, if anyone doesn't know it, they should check it out. For the doomers among you, I would highly recommend this band Choir. This album here is their second album called Smythe, The Smoldering Providence. It's probably a little bit reflective. It's I would say it's like death doom, but very, very murky and disgusting sounding, very dissonant and nasty. So not for the faint of heart. And their first album, Songs for a Tarnished World, is another recommendation. Again, we're probably reflecting a bit. But yeah, this one is even more doomy, I would say. So yeah, if you wanna ease into the sound of the label, but you're more of a doom head, Choir, I think, is the way to go for you.
Well, Simon, I appreciate you taking the time to let us check out your gear today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
If people want to catch up with you, what's the Instagram?
All right, so my personal Instagram is SimonXSludge, and Cult Effects Instagram is cult.fx, and Total Dissonance Worship is Total Dissonance Worship, all in one word, basically.
Badass. Well, thanks for your time, Simon, letting us check out all your cool gear.
Thanks for swinging by.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate you watching this video. Why don't you drop a comment below and let me know what you think of Cult Effects, the different gear that Simon's carrying, and really curious to know what you think of that special edition red splatter colorway of the Model T 150. While we're wrapping it up, I just want to give a big thank you to all the names I'm running on screen right now. These are all the folks that help support the Fuzzlord Effects YouTube through the Patreon page. Links in the description if you want to check that out, as well as links to the Cult Effects website, Instagram page, Nightmare Band, and Total Dissonance Worship, the record label. Also want to give a big special thank you to Rustin, J-Kid, Corey, and Vayuslavic over on the Patreon page. I'm Jason from Fuzzlord. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.